Hi guys, welcome back to the Kellner Chronicles. Yes, we're back in Gibraltar after spending a few days in London, and that was scary. COVID's hit London very hard indeed. This is episode 16, by the way. What I mean by hard is COVID has left the streets almost empty. Oxford Street, which is normally busy as hell, is just dead. Sad really, but that's what we're living in at the moment. The trip to London, well, was it good or was it bad? It was good. It was very, very good. It couldn't have gone better. But we're not talking about the trip as in itself. We're on about Lucy's condition. Some of you may know from an earlier video that I did mention that my wife had been suffering from cancer for over a year. Cervical cancer at that. And it was pretty rough. We've had to go for massive amounts of treatments, spent a lot of time in UK. But thanks to the great doctors and nurses at Royal Marsden Hospital in London, plus Calpe House and the GHA, I've got to thank them all and all those that supported us. Lucy is now cancer-free. Great news. Also, I've managed to get some more subscribers. One thing that did come to mind is the simple fact that I've got 3 episodes for you guys to watch. They're already online, they're already uploaded to the channel, and that is my series of London's Calling 1, 2 and 3. You'll find that each video is dedicated to a different thing, especially episode 3, which is dedicated to Filipinos who may be in London or maybe going to London for work or whatever, that there are Filipino shops, restaurants and everything there. Watch the video, it's a lot of fun. One of my favorite ones, it was done at night with my GoPro Hero 8. Now I'm using the new GoPro Hero 9, which I'm recording on today. Absolutely love this camera. So for episode 16, we're going to do something a little bit different. My 10 most disliked things about the Philippines, okay? This isn't about the Filipinos, about the Philippines itself. I absolutely love the country. So here's a disclaimer. Not slagging anyone down, except for number 1. Wait for that one. Okay, guys, I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, guys. Okay, episode 16. Let's get straight into it. My top 10 most disliked or hated things about the Philippines. So bear with me, this is going to be fun. Number 10, dried fish. I'm surprised my wife isn't laughing. Yeah, well, there you go, there's a little one, a cute little one there. She knows I don't mind the taste of dried fish. I just can't stand the smell or the cooking smell. Dried fish is a delicacy in the Philippines. Absolutely loved by nearly all Filipinos that I know. But seriously, guys, I cannot swallow it. I can eat the things, but I just don't like the smell. When they're cooking it, I could be in the bedroom and my wife could be right outside in the dirty kitchen, quite a distance away, and as soon as I smell it, I have to get out of Dodge, and fast. Usually I get in my truck, go down to the local shopping mall, and go to get a coffee until she's finished cooking. Or I'll just go for a walk. And it brings mirth and merriment to the family because they have a good laugh at my expense. Okay, moving on to number 9. Traffic. Oh, anybody who's ever been to the Philippines will tell you traffic is an absolute nightmare. More so now than ever before. About 10 years ago, traffic was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. Lots more people have got vehicles. It's becoming easier and easier to get loans and vehicles, and more people are buying. So therefore, you've got a lot more wombles on the road. People do not respect the road. They do not respect road signs. They do not respect pedestrian crossings, and they certainly do not respect the highway code. You could be on a pedestrian crossing, walking across legally, and you might get run over. Yes. It is that bad. One of the benefits I've got is I've got my big Ford Ranger Wildtrak truck, and that is a benefit to me because I don't have to worry about getting knocked off the road. And there's Mrs. K smiling and happy since she got her diagnosis. All clear. Right. Moving on. Number 8. Queues. Okay. For those with little or no patience, who can't even queue up in their own countries, get ready for the miracle of the Philippines. You are going to have to queue up and wait. Example, Land Transportation Office, or the LTO. Trying to get my license renewed the last time took the better part of 7 hours. Something which just included a small medical, a urine test, a signature, and a photo. Yes, it could have been done in 20 minutes. Took 7 hours.
Wow!
And a lot of stress. So basically, I advise anybody, take take some food with you, or buy something, or a book, or something, or a game. Drinks, lots of drinks. Preferably not alcoholic. All right. And one of the best parts about it is the queuing up system in the Philippines.
All day.
Yeah, whole day. And you'll see flip-flops behind each other whilst people are sitting down, which marks where the person is. I'll have to get you a picture. Okay, moving on to number 7. Brownouts and blackouts, the bane of my existence in the Philippines. They call them brownouts. In the West, we call them blackouts or power cuts. You would think a country that, or especially my wife's island, that gets its electricity from thermal, you done?
Yeah. Sorry.
From thermal electricity from a volcano, you would think that they'd be able to keep the power going. But for many, many reasons, brownouts can last from hours to days. I mean, to days. It can be nightmarish, especially when there's no aircon for someone like me. Okay. So yeah, be prepared for that. I hate it. Okay. Number 6. Shop assistants on their phones. Once again, 10 years ago, you never saw that. Okay? You would have, or you would go into a shop and you'd be served. People would come up and help you. They'd greet you very politely. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Can I help you? What do you want to buy? Is there anything we can, you'd get great service and you'd leave there with a smile, even with all the paperwork involved. Not anymore. I once went to buy my one of my stepkids a mobile phone. Went into the shop, 3 shop assistants standing around with their phones in their hands. And obviously because of smart phones and stuff, it's much more easy to stay in contact with people. And when you consider that the Filipinos are renowned worldwide for the most SMSs sent and received in history, it tells you a lot. Now, I walked into the shop, went to ask for a product. Couldn't get the product I wanted. Why? Was it in stock? Of course it was. Why wasn't I getting a product? Because nobody paid me a single moment's mind. They were too busy on their phones. I tried to call out to them more than once. Yes, sir, we're coming now. They didn't bother. They decided to carry on with their phones. So, getting wound up, I took a step outside the shop and I never went back. Now, if you're the owner of a shop, surely you must have rules on that. I certainly, if I was the owner of the shop, I would not allow my shop assistants to be using their phones during working hours. I mean, during their breaks and they're out of sight, out of mind, no problem. Not during working hours, unless it's an emergency. But there you go, different places, horses, courses. Okay, we're moving on to number 5, skin tax. Yep, skin tax. Okay, this is a tough one. This is what a lot of the expats call a scenario that happens when, for instance, a foreigner, as myself or anybody else that's in the Philippines is a foreigner, doesn't matter what color their skin, they're foreigner, they're rich. That is the impression Filipinos have of everybody that's from outside. You may be just a poor guy, it doesn't make a difference, you're rich. and you go to purchase a product, a service, or whatever, and you're going to be charged more. Not so much in the commercial stores or in the shopping malls or in the big stores, but generally in the smaller stores, the sari stores, the little stalls, maybe on an excursion boat or whatever. And they'll, when you see that they're charging 50 pesos for a Filipino and they're trying to charge you 100, it's annoying. You would think that you'd all be charged the same. Well, that ain't the case. What I suggest in that situation is stand by the sidelines and do one of two things. In my case, I would generally send the wife in, guns blazing, to get the price that we're supposed to have, and the 50 pesos like everybody else. Or I would wait to see what a Filipino pays, then approach the person myself, and when they say it's 70 or 100 pesos, I'll say, excuse me, why is it 50 for him? I mean, I'll do it politely. I'm not going to tear the person apart. It's understandable, okay? It happens not just in the Philippines, but it happens in Mexico, it happens in South America. It happens in everywhere. I mean, they'll take a little bit of advantage because they think we can afford it. It's not really right, but it happens. Okay, moving on to number 4, where the laws in the Philippines are not equal for Filipinos as well as foreigners. What I mean to say is, if you get a foreigner who comes to your country, whether it be America, UK, Europe, whatever, the general rule of thumb is, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But also there's another rule of thumb with laws, is the law for one, law for all. Not in the Philippines. If an incident happens and the police have to get involved, involving a foreigner and a Filipino, even if the foreigner is innocent, he will be treated probably rougher, because it's happened to me, than a Filipino. Unless, of course, the Filipino is a known thug. Okay? So you've got to be very careful. Don't overstep your mark. If you have to defend yourself, defend yourself. Use limited force. Trust me. The last thing you want to do is end up in a Filipino prison for something that wasn't your fault. But you will get blamed, or you may get blamed. So be careful with that. I really don't like that. I think the corruption sometimes goes too far, and they need to step back a bit. Grease makes the cogs go, don't they? Okay. Babbling. Going on to number 3. Low wages for Filipinos. Another thing that annoys me. Oh, God, I hate this. I see hardworking Filipinos, dedicated craftspeople, artists galore. The Filipinos can put their hands to anything and achieve great results. They are great construction workers. They are great artists. They are great. I mean, they've got the highest level of university graduates. A lot of their engineers and doctors and nurses work abroad. And that should be a symbol to all of us to try a bit harder. But unfortunately, the Filipinos have to achieve greatness. So when they're paid a pittance of something like 150 pesos a day, which is the equivalent of maybe £2 British, two and a half British pounds, or maybe $3, maybe $4 US a day. Yes. And a maximum of about $8 a day or £5 a day. It's a worrying thing. The country's a developing country, because I say developing because I don't like the term third world. I don't agree with that. I think it's derogatory. I think any country which is not as developed as a Western society country is a developing country, an up-and-coming country. So that's just my thoughts on things. And I think they deserve to be paid more. Right now the economy's crap because of COVID. But before COVID hit, there was a thing which President Duterte put into place, which is the minimum wage. It wasn't adopted by everyone, which is more the pity. They should have adopted it, and they should have put it across the board, instead of letting people or business owners cheat their employees. Imagine having to work 12 hours a day, no food, very little breaks, and you're working for a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars, and you've got to feed a family. You'll never get out of the slums like that. You'll never get on the property ladder, and you certainly will not be able to improve your life. So something really has to be done about that. But that's just a rant on my part. Okay, number 2. My favorite one. Chismosos or chismosas. Okay, for those of you who don't understand, most Spaniards would, most Spanish-speaking people will. Chismosas, rumor mongers, okay? Gossipers, bullshit stirrers. And they are aplenty. We've got them in every country in the world. But right now, the Filipinos can take it to a whole new level. So much so that a lot of families are destroyed by it. Reputations are ruined. Innocent people are either locked away or have their whole lives torn apart. How can that be? It's only gossip. Believe it or not, slanderous libel can destroy lives. It happens a lot in the Philippines. They have attempted that with myself and my wife and our family on more than one occasion. Luckily, we are smart enough to fight back, but not everybody is. And not everybody else can afford to fight back. President Duterte, once again, puts a law into place that people can now be done for online bullying, online gossip and rumor mongering, online slander and libel, as well as direct slander and libel. Okay, so there have been cases going to courts that have lasted quite a long time, and these people have been done for it. It's a bugbear of mine. I know you're gonna get gossipers anywhere. It happens, but not to these extremes. We've had to suffer it a lot. You know, imagine having to go home and to bury your mum, and you're ill with an illness yourself, and instead of helping you, your so-called neighbors who have benefited from you are now talking about you behind your back and spreading malicious rumors and lies across the whole area. The next day you wake up and you're being questioned about it. Not good. Okay, and we finally come to number 1 of my dislikes and hates of the Philippines. And I refer you to an earlier video, I think it's video episode 11 or 12, of expats, exploiters, etc., etc. I hate expats that exploit, abuse, and cheat decent people that are online or Filipinos. I don't like the way they use their Filipina girlfriends to get benefits or money. I certainly don't like how they try not to pay for their Filipina girls by making them create their own channels. It's a long story, I know. And the one thing I hate the most is when they go online and they use psychological tactics to say, I really want to buy that motorcycle, but I can't afford it, it's too expensive. Oh, mind you, I've got a donate button. If you click my donate button, you could pay money into my PayPal and help me buy it. Oh, by the way, it's my girlfriend's birthday in 2 months' time. Yes, then a month later, it's her birthday. In a month's time, please send money. Help me buy her a laptop. I've been through this before. It's a bugbear, and I can't stand it. Sadly, I can't let it go either, because it destroys the reputation of good foreigners living in the Philippines, or good expats, whatever you want to call them. And I do not like being tarred or painted with the same brush as these malicious, money-grabbing vultures. They are no more than leeches, and they are no more than moochers. You shouldn't have to pay your hard-earned money or you've got to work in factories, in offices, in the fields, in the streets. You work hard for your money, for you and your family. Why are you paying for these guys to live in paradise whilst you have got to sweat and break your back every day? Don't be fooled. Keep your money to yourself. If you want to donate your money to someone, donate it to a charity of good repute. Please, guys, don't be taken in. Anyway, enough of the crap. And I love my new GoPro Hero 9. Bought by me, not by begging. Okay? So, from me at the Kelmer Chronicles and from Mrs. K.
Goodbye, guys. See ya in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And share. Yeah, leave a comment if you like. We'll be back soon with another, hopefully, top 10 or another chat. Who knows? See you soon. Bye-bye.